In the year is 2075. In the secure Global Command Headquarters complex on the outskirts of Virginia sits the control center of the covert Space Force operations. Commodore General Ted Brock has learned through the Special Forces intelligence that the Beta Centaurions have deployed a new destructive weapon on a satellite platform outside Jupiter's orbit. Commander Rick Jones stands before him.
Commander Jones, you have been picked for a special Black Ops mission. You will take a Falcon space fighter, cloaked throughout the mission. You will rendezvous with the platform and disarm. The Centaurians must be led to believe that the platform has malfunctioned.
Once in space, he stared at the vastness of space stretched out before him, with the image of his instrument panel reflecting on his visor. As he jumps out of subspace drive, he arrives right on target. Everything is going as planned as the nuclear platform's signature appears on his panel. Jones maneuvers his craft just below the nuclear platform when suddenly his cloaking device disengages. So much for a secret mission. He quickly positions the ship and deploys a small parasite device to the underside of the platform and activates the device, which quickly disables its targeting capabilities. Then, just as suddenly, his cloak comes back online. Out of nowhere, several Centaurion fighters are closing in on him. He pushed forward the thruster handle. Pushing his Falcon fighter to its limits, he fires head-on into the lead Centaurion fighter. As it disintegrates, the other fighters veer off. In a violent maneuver, Jones brings the Falcon fighter behind one of the Centaurion fighters and fires. 2 down. Warning alarms ring out. A Centaurion fighter begins to slide into position. Jones reverses full thrust as the G-forces crush him back into his seat. As the Centaurion flashes by, he jumps to subspace speed and makes his escape. That incident with the cloaking device nagged at him. The Centaurians were sure to know what happened, but the cloak wasn't off for long, so they may not know by whom. He carried that uneasy feeling all the way back to Earth. Late night on Deep Space Gamma, a remote spaceport in the Antares system, 2 silicate mercenaries hired by the Centaurions, codenamed Mikon and Dimous, posing as grain traders, review their instructions. Unbeknownst to the Global Command, the Centaurions have a mole planted among Commodore Brock's staff. They now know all about Jones and his mission, and didn't take it lightly. To make a point to the Global Command, what's better revenge than to eliminate Jones? Through their mole, they also learned that Jones was to attend a secret conference of the Federation of United Planets on Beta Centauri's plans to activate more platforms in their quest for dominance in space. He was expected on Troyes in a few days, the 2 Antarians agents reviewing a layout of the city as they formulate Jones's elimination. Flying under the guise of a normal commercial space starliner, Commander Jones, accompanied by Captain Max, crossed the void bound for Troyes. As Jones looks over his notes for the conference on a handheld device, Captain Max, who has been bending his ear during the entire flight, offered up.
The last time I was in Troyes 2 years ago, I started to date GSA Special Agent Dina Stone. It was fine at first, but in the end, I had to let her down easy.
Jones, tired of his stories, just kept looking Max in the face and told him,
"Max, I find that hard to believe."
Finally, for Jones, the pilot announced that they were preparing to dock with the Juno spaceport. After collecting their bags, they hopped into an auto taxicab for the ride to the Hotel Universal. Along the way, Max wouldn't stop talking. Jones sat in annoyed silence. He knew Max knew just as much as he did about the intentions of the Centaurians, that his presence at the conference could prove invaluable, but Max was just downright insufferable. Plus, Max knew Troyes and had made their hotel arrangements, so he was looking forward to a quick nap before the conference. When they arrived at the hotel, Jones was surprised to find it somewhat dilapidated. But what really shocked him was when the bellbot led them into their room. It was all decorated in the most hideous shade of pink. "The Princess Mickey Suite," he said as he handed Jones the key. In total disbelief, he asked Max,
"What happened, Captain?"
Max answered as he squirmed,
Would you believe it's all they had left? I asked them for their best. Instead, we got the princess.
That's harder to believe than you dating Special Agent Stone.
The conference went on into the early evening. Colonel Jones covered the new intelligence of the Centaurions' plans to deploy new nuclear platforms, followed by Mac's analysis of the new defensive systems aboard the craft. Other topics were discussed before they broke up about developments in the Vega and Arcturus military programs. With the conference over, Mac suggested they head back to the hotel. In a very dark abandoned Troyes warehouse full of broken aluminum cases and broken circuit boards, Mikon and Dimous have converted one of the offices into a high-tech control center. Appearing on one of the holographic screens, the Centaurion Chancellor leans in with menacing eyes.
"Report,"
he demanded.
"Sire, we have made our final preparations."
Very well. I trust there are no complications?
"None at all, sire. According to the statistical computations as to a positive outcome are highly probable."
Make sure your probable outcome becomes reality. I'd hate to have to deactivate the both of you.
The Chancellor replied. Mikon opens two long black cases full of various assault ray guns and long-range laser rifles. Dimous takes one of the long-range laser rifles out of the case.
Model C-45 with this holographic scope matches the parameters.
As he and Mikon review the plan displayed on the holographic screens, they intensely pay special attention to all the possible scenarios. They take the tube back towards the hotel, Max talking as usual. This time he claimed that Special Agent Stone had said to him,
She just wouldn't leave me alone. Just 3 months ago, I ran into her in New Baltimore. She wanted us to get back together.
Jones shook his head in disbelief.
Why don't you like me?
Nobody likes you, Captain. You get on people's nerves. Besides, I believe Special Agent Stone has way better taste in men.
Jones and Max both walk down the city street, while across the street, up on a rooftop, Mikon and Dimous prepare themselves. Dimous sets the rangefinder holographic scope of his long-range laser rifle, trying to steady his aim.
"The wind is very strong up here,"
he says to Mikon. Finally, he has the shot and fires. The laser blast whizzes past Jones's head and strikes the wall of the building behind him. Both men dive to the ground.
Move, Max. We're easy targets. Let's get moving.
Back together in that hideous pink hotel room, Jones was trying to figure out how anybody could know he was even on Troyes.
This makes no sense, Max. How can the Centaurions know I'm here? Plus, why me?
Max just looked back at him in silence. Jones had his suspicions. One of Max's stories didn't add up. Max looked at the window, still angry about what Jones had said about how people thought of him. He bickered on and on with Jones, angrily announcing,
I need to take a walk to cool down.
With that, he left the room. Jones had to decide whether to expose him or play along. Either way, he was going to be very careful. Max wasted no time. He was angry. Nothing had gone as planned. He knew that Mikon and Dimous were preparing for another try at Jones.
"What are you doing here?"
I really hate that man. I tried to get close to him, distract him, get him to like me.
"So he doesn't like you, Max?" "We don't like you either. You rattle our circuits."
Is that right?
He raises his ray gun and fires a laser blast. An alert sounds announcing an incoming communication. He answers it.
Captain Max, where are Dimous and Mikon?
They proved useless, sire.
Then you are to proceed with the mission. Failure is not an option.
Jones knew that he needed to deal with the whole situation. He patiently waited for Max's return. It didn't take long. Jones stood in front of the window as Max entered the room. Looking Max in the eyes, he asked,
So, how are your Centurion buddies? Still friends?
Max, with a shocked look on his face, said,
How long have you known?
You see, I worked with Agent Stone just before my mission. She was in Houston, not New Baltimore, 2 months ago.
Max slowly placed his hand on the combat knife attached to the belt around his waist. as he waited for his opportunity to strike.
And your name did come up. She didn't like you, Max, in fact. She felt pity.
Shut up, Jones. Shut up.
Max cried out as he lunged across the room. With that, Jones quickly blocked his attack. Both men struggled until Jones gained the upper hand. With the battle over, Max cried out,
You can use me against the Centaurions?
Jones stared steely into Max's eyes.
Please, what's to become of me?
What's to become of you? How about 25 years to life?
With his assignment over, he knew if the Centaurions wanted him dead. They now wanted him dead much, much more. He had a long flight ahead of him to think about it, but he kind of felt sorry for the MPs escorting Max back to Earth. Max was already flapping at the mouth. For them, it was going to seem like a much, much longer flight. Still, he felt an uneasy eeriness as he walked through the spaceport for his return flight back to Global Command. Besides, he knew Dina Stone would be waiting to greet him when he arrived at Armstrong International Spaceport. The planet, Beta Centauri 3, nestled in the black void of space. Deep beneath its purple landscape rest the Centaurion military base, Sigma 5. The very angry Chancellor Gigmar walks aggressively towards the war room, frustrated by his failure to teach Global Command a lesson and by their success in thwarting his plans to deploy destructive satellite space platforms throughout the solar system.
The time for gamesmanship is over. We must strike a blow to weaken their forces, Commander. You are to lead your battle fleet on an all-out attack against their military outpost stationed in the Delta Quadrant. Crippling them will give us the time we need for a full-scale invasion. By your command, Lord Chancellor.
Inside the war room of Global Command, Commodore Brock and his team are preparing for the impending Centaurian assault. Commander Jones has been ordered to report to the Commodore for his briefing on his new assignment.
Commander, we have just received word that the Centaurian battle fleet has dropped out hyperspace into the Delta Quadrant. Fortunately for us, a squadron of Raptor fighters on routine patrol detected their presence and after sending an encoded hyperspeed message warning to us, they engaged the fleet. Unfortunately for the squadron, they were overwhelmed by scores of the enemy as they swarmed in like Regalian locusts. There were no survivors. We fear that their intended targets are our outposts defending the quadrant. You are to lead Task Force Able, already on standby. You are to depart immediately. If you have any concerns about your mission, now is the time to air them, Commander.
Commodore, thanks to my last encounter with the Centaurian battle cruisers, I learned that they are unskilled in performing dogfight maneuvers. They are not used to an enemy who can fight back. We will be fine, sir. We have the technical advantage.
I am glad to hear you say that, Commander. Make no mistake, Rick, this is war. Go out there and bloody them up. Gain a little time for us to build up our forces. This is going to be a long one, Commander. You must halt their advance and, if possible, push them out of the quadrant.
Don't worry, Commodore. We'll give them hellfire to be sure, sir.
As Task Force Able arrives at the Delta Quadrant, they immediately engage the Centaurians.
All right, boys, stay tight. All fighters engage. Watch out for your wingmen. Be sure to maneuver in groups, because it's payback time. Stay in formation. Keep it tight.
Billy just bought it.
Watch out! Going in hot? Scratch 5!
Follow me in.
Roger that.
I'm hit!
Gotcha.
3 down the pipe. We sure kicked their tails. We taught them a lesson.
Yes, we sure did, and they'll learn from it. This fight is far from over. Very far, believe me.